my pleasure to introduce our benevolent CEO, Josh Swayne, to come up here and speak with all of you tonight. Come on up, Mr. Swayne.
Thank you. After that introduction, I have a high bar to set. As you can see, we've had a wonderful video. I think after I've watched that, I question why I need to stand and say anything. But to this moment, as I look out in the audience and the invitations, the conversations that we've had to this point, it's an honor to be able to come together and to celebrate at this time. I want to thank you for coming out. I know that there's many in the audience that have traveled up from the lower 48, and we welcome you. Hope that you've enjoyed this great state of Alaska and gotten out to experience a few things. It's been beautiful weather. I know there's some that may be joining us virtually, and just to let you know, you're missing out. But we are grateful that we have the technology and ability for you to join us tonight. To kick things off, someone randomly, as I was talking with folks, they said, "Are you going to tell a joke?" And I said, "Well, I'll throw a few in there." But in reality, though, many of you may or may not know Josh Swayne. He was an Alaskan, lived with us, but he was famous for his dad jokes. And I knew he'd be here tonight, so I figured, as a father of 4 daughters, I have some background that maybe I could tell just of 1 or 2 dad jokes to kick this off. But so I got a few. First one, and if you want to answer at the table and interact or throw out the answer, we can do so. But the first one is, why is the geometry book always so emotional? Because it has too many problems. Okay? Why did the college hire a career counselor with a fishing license? Josh, you're disappointing me. I thought he had a ringer over there. Because they're great at helping students catch their future. Probably my favorite one, last one, but it says, why did the student eat their homework? Because the teacher said it was a piece of cake. All right, now after 40 years of journey, we can agree that education isn't always a piece of cake, but it's powerful and it's life-changing, and I think that's what we're here to celebrate. Because in the audience, I know that we have those who, are students, graduate, community members, employers, and though you haven't always been or haven't been a student of charter college, you have been impacted by education. Each one of us, in some level or form throughout our lives, we've attended school, learned, and you've seen the impact that it has. And that's truly nets us all together tonight. We have a commonality in that regard, even though education may not have a direct impact as an employer currently or an instructor. But I hope that as you listen and you intermingle, you think of the impact that education in general has had on you as an individual. So with excitement and humility, as many have done, we welcome you and appreciate the time and effort that you've come here to celebrate this with us tonight. The thing that sticks out to me most as I reflect on what we do and who we do it for is that this is something that's transformational. Education isn't something that you can technically see, touch, feel. It's an intangible. I know many times when we talk with students, when they come in, that's one of the things that we visit with them about. That it's a vehicle. It's not something you can wrap up and hand to them physically they can touch, but it's something that's a vehicle that takes them to a place that they're seeking to go. And so I want to just talk a little bit about that today. We've had a great opportunity to see the video in terms of when charter college came into play in 1985 from Dr. Milton Bird. And from there, we've continued to grow with the leadership of the faculty and staff, and now exist in 7 different states, from Alaska to California. And we offer programs on ground and classrooms online. But the important thing is that we can talk about the fundamentals, we can talk about the structure, but really what I want to share today is a couple stories about students. Because to me, that's transformable. I mean, it's an impact. It's something that makes a difference in someone's life. The first one I have is Maria. You know, she was a single mother. She came to us and enrolled in a medical assisting program. She had 2 children. She'd previously never been to college. Like many of our students, was nervous, unsure of herself that she could fulfill and commit to this type of a schedule, and was, like many of our students, nervous. But I don't know that she's any different than many of you and I. I mean, if we think of that, when you get ready to change something in your life, there's always that sense of apprehension, concern, and the thoughts of worry and anxiety, plague us. But I do think that one thing that we hope to do here at Charter College, and have demonstrated over the last 40 years, is an environment that fosters, understands, and helps individuals through that scenario. And that was the case with Maria. She's able to graduate, got a job at a clinic, worked there for a while, and now she has the opportunity to manage a small team, is in the process of buying a home, and has recently come back and been able to visit with new students and share her story and encourage them along their journey. So, to me, that is what Charter College is all about. Because as we look at it, the one thing that we do, and we talk about that we're a skill-based education, and I think we do a pretty good job at that. We don't just offer degrees for the sake of credentials or deliver those. We offer hands-on, employee-aligned training. But our programs prepare students for real jobs, purposeful careers. They have a direct impact to their families and the community. So, one of our students graduates, and they're out in the workforce, and for an MA, they sit down, they take a blood pressure for the first time in the job. Or when an HVAC individual who graduates is on a commercial site or a residential and is fixing a unit. Or a nursing student that's out in the field and helping somebody recover. That's more than just success. It's impact. And that's what we do. It's more than ourselves. And as you hear employees who say they love what they do, I believe that's why they do it. Because it's not about themselves. Being a teacher, an educator, is transformative. It has an impact. And the type of education that we deliver, that you can see it's measurable, there's outcomes, to me there's real value there. There's purpose and direction. And we're grateful to have been constructing that for the last 40 years. Now, as you well know in career education, we work diligently to watch the job markets, look at the gaps that are out there, and there are millions of jobs that go unfulfilled because of that skill force gap. And I think that Charter College, that's our objective, that we try to work within our community leaders and environments so that we can bring students in, train them in those skills, and put them to work. As you saw the impact or in the video, where it showed the different logos. I mean, their current one is that we work to get people to work. And one of the things I try to impress upon our employees, so that it starts from the top and moves down, is that anything of value takes work. Anything. And I don't know that there's anything that you can have true consistent value that didn't take some type of level of work. And so as employees, I encourage them, you gotta work hard. But your job is to work, to help students go to work. And as they do that, we see the impact they have in the communities. Now, recently, you may or may not have seen, we've posted a 40-year ebook that demonstrates a lot of the information that we shared here in videos and pictures, and encourage you to get out there and read some of those stories that are available there. But in there, we shared that we've had over 32,000 graduates over the last 40 years. But to me, yes. That's just not 32,000 certificates or degrees. To me, that's 32,000 opportunities, 32,000 families impacted, 32,000 success stories. It's about one. It's about the one. And I think if you focus on that, I mean, we can get, up here we can talk about large numbers, but just think of the impact. And I know this resonates with instructors when they see the impact and influence their influence has on the one. Whether that's teaching, whether that's bringing them into the school, because we all play a different role in this circle. But the impact that we have goes above and beyond that individual. It impacts communities and families. And one of these other individuals I'd like to share is that it impacted was James. He was a veteran, and he was struggling with the transition of coming back into civilian life. He enrolled in our HVAC program, looking for structure and purpose, and a way to move forward. He quickly adapted to that environment, enjoyed it, quickly caught on. He eventually became a tutor within his class to other classmates, and actually got a job before he even graduated. Worked there for a while and has now started his own business and lives in Montana. He recently has commented that the program just didn't give him a job; it gave him back his confidence. And so, to me, the environment that, again, we talk about the statistics of graduates and jobs, but these soft skills that we're able to impact and impart to the students is one of the intangible valuables that comes to working in this environment and working within our school system of charter college. Now, we've talked about the journey and the impact of the 32,000 graduates across multiple states. But this comes from the people, too, that have made up charter college, that currently make up charter college. Myself, I started here back in 2008, been here almost 17 years. And I've enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoy what I do, but I enjoy not only the students, but the people that I get to work with. So again, thank you for those who have come to celebrate this with us, physically and virtually online. I want to share that, we're going to continue to attempt to fill this skill gap as we adapt. And over the 17 years, I've seen this organization change significantly from the way we deliver, from residential, online, blended. And we'll continue to, tap into and look at the different resources to take us, continue moving forward in the next 40 years. No, I'm not probably going to be here myself 40 years, but someone will. But again, I want to thank you. And the running joke that was amongst our table is we're going until 10 o'clock. We've got a silent auction going on. So I'm closing down the bars. I'm going to keep talking until we max out on those bids. I got water to keep my whistle wet here, and we'll go. But all kidding aside, I do hope you enjoy your time here. Thank you for your celebration, coming and celebrating this with us, and that you get out and contribute to the silent auction. It's a fantastic cause that's being supported by our nursing association that, again, supports education in a country that really does value and needs this type of resource. But let me just close up tonight with a quote that I think sums up the reason and the purpose of us celebrating and the message that comes with education. This quote is from Nelson Mandela, and it is, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." And for 40 years, I believe charter college has been doing just that. It's been in the business of equipping people with that weapon. Now, as I stated in my opening remarks, we're all knitted together because we've experienced education. You've either had a mentor, a teacher, attended some form of education, some longer than others. But education is powerful. It changes one's lives. As Mandela here indicates, is using it as a weapon. But I look at the fact that you have a choice. You can either use that from a positive impact, or you let it sit on the shelf and you don't do anything about it. And I'm a firm believer that there's two things that we all have in life. Okay? We all have equal amount of time. No one gets any more or less than anyone else in terms of the day. And they have choice. So I guess the teacher in me would challenge us to say, what are you doing with your time and what are your choices? And I hope that you're choosing to use that education to better someone's life. You know, whether you're a mentor, a teacher, or just using your skill set to influence and service others. Because that's the greatest thing that I think we get to see within the environment that we do is graduation. You see them complete. But it's more so, it's beyond that. When they go to work, you hear these stories come back. Again, it's about the one. It's the power that comes there that they change their families, their community lives. And to me, that is the nature of who we are as individuals, that we truly do want to become more than we are. And education, to me, is that vehicle in doing so. So please celebrate the education you received. Ask yourself what you're doing with it. And know that you have equal time, so you can't sit here and whine to me that, life isn't fair. So with that, again, thank you for coming. Appreciate all that you've done for us, and we look forward to continuing to move forward as an organization. Thank you.